Let me paint a picture for you. It's a sunny afternoon, the kind that invites laughter and light conversation, but there's an undercurrent of tension as subtle as the breeze that occasionally ruffles the napkins on the meticulously set table. We're at my parents' house, the backdrop of so many of our family's highs and lows. Today, it feels both comforting and confining, a scene brimming with familiar faces, yet each one harboring stories and scars that have subtly shaped our interactions. As we gather, the clink of glasses and the murmur of pleasantries can't quite mask the undercurrent of unresolved issues. Mom's laughter rings a bit too cheerful, Dad's jokes land with a careful neutrality, and my brother, well, he's unusually quiet. His smile's tinged with an anxiety he thinks he's hiding. I find myself wedged between warmth for my family and a wariness of what this reunion might bring up. Little do I know, the day will unfold with revelations that will challenge the very foundation of my beliefs and loyalties. This isn't just any family gathering. It's a prelude to a request so unexpected. It promises to unearth long-buried secrets and force us all to confront the boundaries of love, loyalty, and personal autonomy. Here, among the laughter and the old family stories, I sit, blissfully unaware of the storm that's brewing under the guise of a family celebration. Join me as we delve into a story that intertwines love, betrayal, and the haunting question of what it means to do right by those you hold dearest. Join us as we dive deep into a story that explores the complexities of love, duty, and personal boundaries. Hit the like button if you're intrigued, and don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments below. What's your take on surrogacy? And where do you draw the line when it comes to family requests? Stay tuned, and let's uncover this journey together. The setting sun cast a golden glow over our backyard, a serene scene that belied the upheaval about to unfold. Dinner had just wound down, and the remnants of dessert lingered on our plates. It was then, amidst the clatter of dishes and the settling dusk, that my mom turned to me with a look I couldn't quite decipher, a mixture of resolve and nervousness. "Honey, we need to talk about something important," she began, her voice unusually steady. The table fell silent, all eyes on me, the air thick with anticipation. "Your brother and his wife have been trying to start a family for years, and well, they faced one heartbreak after another," she continued, each word deliberate, her gaze never leaving mine. The weight of her pause was palpable, and in that moment, my heart sank with a premonition of what was to come. "We've been thinking, and we were wondering. Would you consider being a surrogate for your brother?" The question hung in the air, stark and surreal. Shock jolted through me like electricity. My fork clattered to the plate. Confusion, disbelief, and a whirlwind of unspoken questions swirled within me. How could she ask this of me? The request felt both intimate and intrusive, a line crossed in the most profound way. The reactions around the table mirrored a spectrum of emotions, some sympathetic, others as stunned as I was. My brother wouldn't meet my eyes. His usual open demeanor shuttered and closed. His wife, typically outspoken, was silent, her hands tightly clasped in her lap. As I struggled to process the request, my mind raced. The implications were enormous, not just for me but for our entire family dynamic. This wasn't merely a favor. It was a life-changing decision that brought with it a myriad of ethical, emotional, and physical challenges. The turmoil within me grew as I considered the layers of this proposition. My autonomy, my future, my relationship with my brother, all thrown into question by this shocking request. How could I possibly decide something so monumental in the fleeting moments of a family dinner? This is where I turn to you, viewers. What would you do in my shoes? Comment below your thoughts or how you might handle such a life-altering request. Stay tuned as we explore the depths of this moral quandary in the next episode. Ending this section with a call for viewer interaction. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments before I proceed to the next topic. In the quiet of my own room, the echo of my mom's request lingered like a distant storm cloud. Lying on my bed, staring at the ceiling, I wrestled with the torrent of emotions that had upended what I thought was a simple family dinner. It wasn't just a question of being a surrogate. It was about what it meant for my relationship with my brother, my view of myself, and the expectations of my family. The decision was entwined with my core values. Was family loyalty enough to compel me to override my own boundaries? This question haunted me through sleepless nights. The room's shadows seemed to pulse with the weight of past joys and conflicts with my brother. Flashbacks of our childhood played in my mind, from carefree games in this very room to heated arguments that had tested our bond. I remembered the promise I'd made to always be there for him, but I hadn't imagined a scenario so fraught with emotional and physical implications. The complexity of the request added layers of psychological tension. What would happen to our relationship if I said no? And what if I said yes? The responsibility of carrying my brother's child seemed overwhelming, fraught with potential for resentment or deeper bonding. Tormented by these thoughts, I decided to seek the perspectives of those closest to me. Each conversation reflected back a part of my turmoil, offering sympathy, shock, or outright opposition. My best friend expressed concern for my well-being, warning of the emotional toll such a decision could take. "You have to live with this choice for the rest of your life," she reminded me. Her words a stark contrast to the support others assumed I'd automatically offer. These discussions only deepened the chasm of my dilemma. Loyalty to my brother battled with the need to protect my own mental and physical autonomy. The ethical implications were vast and varied, touching on issues of consent, bodily autonomy, and the moral responsibilities we hold towards family versus ourselves. As I grapple with these thoughts, I'm reaching out to you, my viewers. Have you ever faced a decision that pits your values against your love for your family? How did you navigate the storm of loyalty and personal ethics? Share your experiences in the comments below as we delve deeper into this emotional conflict in our next segment, ending with questions to engage the audience and encourage sharing their stories. Let me know if this aligns with your expectations, or if there are any areas you'd like to adjust before I continue. As dawn broke the next day, the weight of my unresolved decision pressed down on me with the inevitability of the rising sun. I needed clarity, a fresh perspective that could come only from stepping outside the emotional storm cloud enveloping my family. So, I reached out to my circle of trusted friends and my partner, seeking their unvarnished opinions. Over coffee in a cozy corner of our favorite cafe, I unfolded my tale to my best friend, Jen. Her eyes widened as the story spilled out, her initial shock giving way to a measured response. "This is about more than just a favor. It's a commitment that will change your life," she cautioned, her voice a blend of concern and support. She urged me to consider not only the emotional but also the physical toll, emphasizing the need to think about my own future. Later, I sat down with my partner in the quiet of our living room, where the conversation took a different turn. He focused on the emotional bonds and the strength of family ties. "Think about what this could mean for your brother," he said, his hand finding mine, a gesture of solidarity. "But also, think about what it means for us." His words added another layer of complexity, highlighting the implications for our own relationship and future plans. Each discussion brought its own flavor of insight and concern, painting a more comprehensive picture of the potential repercussions of my decision. From disbelief to ethical debates, the range of reactions was broad and eye-opening. A colleague at work offered a different angle, touching on the legal and contractual aspects of surrogacy that I hadn't fully considered. "Make sure you know what you're getting into, legally and emotionally," he advised, his pragmatic approach providing a new dimension to consider. These conversations were invaluable, not only engaging the impact of my decision on those closest to me but also in reflecting my own doubts and hopes back to me. They acted as mirrors, each friend's perspective adding clarity to my reflection, helping me piece together the fragments of my thoughts and emotions into a coherent shape. Now, turning to you, my viewers. How important do you find the role of friends and partners in making life-changing decisions? Have you ever turned to your confidants in times of moral or emotional turmoil? Share your stories in the comments below, and let's discuss the power and impact of seeking advice when faced with monumental choices. Ending with questions to engage the audience, encouraging them to reflect on the value of external advice in their own lives. Please let me know if this meets your needs or if you'd like any revisions before I proceed to the next topic. As the days turned into weeks, the pressure of making a decision about the surrogacy request weighed heavily on my mind. It was during a late-night rummaging through old family albums for distraction that I stumbled upon more than just memories. Hidden between the pages filled with faded photographs was a letter, an old, yellowing piece of paper that seemed innocuous at first glance. But as I unfolded it and read the contents, the foundations of what I thought I knew about my family began to crumble. The letter was from my mother to my father, dated back to a time before my brother and I were born. In her neat, careful handwriting, my mother confessed to having doubts about her ability to have children due to medical reasons she had never mentioned to us. The revelation was shocking, and it painted my mother's recent request in a starkly different light. This discovery led me down a rabbit hole of questions and demands for explanations from my parents. Under the weight of my insistence, they finally opened up about a past filled with struggles, medical treatments, and a desperation to have children that had defined the early years of their marriage. It turned out my brother and I were miracles, conceived against all odds, which added layers of complexity to my mother's request for me to be a surrogate. As I processed this information, it became clear that there were more secrets. My brother eventually confessed that the surrogacy suggestion hadn't come from him directly but was a result of mounting pressure from his wife and my mother. He revealed his own reservations and the strain it had put on his marriage, showing me just how tangled the web of family expectations and secrets could become. This unveiling of hidden truths didn't just change my perspective on the surrogacy request. It reshaped my understanding of my family's dynamics. Every secret uncovered seemed to alter the emotional landscape I had navigated all my life, revealing motivations and past pains that had silently shaped our relationships. With these revelations laid bare, the story of our family needed re-examining, not just for the sake of my decision but for the integrity of our bonds. As we confront these hidden chapters together, the journey through our shared past might just offer a path forward. I turn to you now, my viewers. Have you ever uncovered secrets within your family that changed the way you saw your relatives or your shared history? How did you handle the revelations? Share your experiences in the comments below as we continue to explore the profound impact of truths long hidden. Ending with a prompt for audience engagement, encouraging personal sharing and reflection. Let me know if this section aligns with your vision or if there are adjustments you'd like to make before proceeding to the next topic. The tension that had been simmering beneath the surface finally reached a boiling point one evening. It was during a seemingly normal family dinner, now laden with the weight of unspoken truths and newfound revelations, that emotions spilled over. The air was thick with anticipation and dread as each of us took our seats, the usual banter replaced by a palpable silence. I could no longer hold back the storm of questions and feelings raging inside me. With a deep breath, I broke the silence. We need to talk about everything. The surrogacy, the secrets, all of it, I declared, my voice firm yet trembling with the magnitude of what I was about to confront. The reaction was immediate and intense. My mother's face fell, her eyes reflecting a mix of fear and regret. My brother shifted uncomfortably in his chair, his wife clutching his hand under the table. The confrontation that ensued was raw and revealing. Accusations flew, tears were shed, and grievances that had festered for years were brought into the open. I felt cornered by the request to carry your child. I confessed to my brother, my words heavy with emotion, and learning about all the secrets. It feels like I don't even know our family anymore. My brother, usually the peacemaker, finally voiced his own frustrations. I never wanted to put you in this position, he admitted, his voice cracking with emotion. But I felt pressured by Mom and Ellen. I'm torn between my wife's wishes and what I know is fair to you. My mother, visibly shaken by our outbursts, tried to explain her perspective. I only wanted to help keep the family together and thought this could be a solution. I see now how wrong I was to manipulate the situation, she said, remorse tinging her words. As the confrontation reached its peak, truths were laid bare, and the illusion of a perfect family was shattered, replaced by the reality of our flawed human nature. It was a painful but necessary catharsis, one that allowed each of us to express the hidden hurts and hopes we'd held back. By the end of the night, no definitive resolutions were reached, but the air was clearer. We were bruised by the truths we'd faced but also beginning to forge a new understanding based on honesty and a willingness to heal. Now, I ask you, my viewers, have you ever had to confront difficult truths within your family? How did you manage to navigate the emotional turmoil? Share your stories below as we look into the aftermath of such pivotal family confrontations in the next update. Ending with a question to engage the audience, fostering a community discussion. Please let me know if this section meets your expectations or if any adjustments are needed before moving on to the next topic. After the emotional tumult of our family confrontation, the days that followed were filled with contemplation and introspective silence for me. The house seemed quieter, each of us cocooned in our own thoughts, processing the raw emotions and harsh words that had been exchanged. In this solitude, I was left to ponder the monumental decision that lay before me. The request to become a surrogate for my brother had evolved from a simple, albeit shocking, proposition to a complex dilemma steeped in ethical, emotional, and familial considerations. Each perspective I had encountered, from my confidant's cautious advice to my family's desperate pleas, resonated within me, pulling me in different directions. I found myself walking in the nearby park, a place where the rustling leaves and gentle breezes seemed to offer a respite from the weight of my decision. As I walked, I weighed the potential outcomes of my choice. Saying yes could mean bringing a new life into the world and mending broken family ties, but at what cost to my own emotional and physical well-being? Conversely, saying no held the potential for deepening the rifts that had only just been revealed, possibly alienating me from my family. The guilt of denying my brother the chance at parenthood gnawed at me, yet I grappled with the devastating truth that my own life and dreams could be put on hold to accommodate another's desires. In a moment of clarity amidst the rustling leaves, I realized that my decision had to align with my own values and vision for my life. The sacrifice asked of me was immense, and while family is profoundly important, I could not consent to a decision that felt like it compromised my own autonomy and future. With a heavy heart, I chose to say no. The decision was heartbreaking, not just for the obvious disappointment it would cause, but because it symbolized a boundary I was unwilling to cross, even for family. When I communicated my decision, the reactions were mixed. My brother, though visibly upset, expressed understanding over time, acknowledging the enormity of what had been asked of me. My mother struggled with my decision, her own guilt and hopes making it difficult to fully accept my choice. In this episode, we delve into the emotional resolution and the journey towards healing. To my viewers, how would you handle a decision that pits your autonomy against family loyalty? Have you faced similar heartbreaks? Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. Ending this section with a call for empathy and shared experiences, encouraging viewer interaction. Please review and let me know if any changes are required before we continue to the next topic. The aftermath of my decision to decline the surrogacy request was like the calm after a storm, uneasy and tinged with a sense of loss and the unspoken words that lingered in the air. The dynamics within our family had shifted, and we all navigated this new reality with a mix of caution and a newfound understanding of each other's boundaries and emotional landscapes. In the weeks that followed, I observed the subtle changes in our interactions. Conversations were more guarded, yet there was an undercurrent of respect that had not been as palpable before. We were all coming to terms with the boundaries I had set, recognizing that while they might separate us in some ways, they also allowed us to interact more honestly. My brother and his wife eventually sought alternative paths to parenthood, exploring options that did not involve me directly. This decision allowed us to slowly mend the rift, as we supported them through their journey from a different perspective. The process was not without its challenges, but it fostered a different type of closeness, built on mutual respect rather than unspoken expectations. Personally, the decision I made prompted a period of significant growth. I pursued counseling to navigate the complex emotions that stemmed from the situation, which helped me understand and articulate my feelings more clearly. This was a time for me to reflect on what I truly valued, reinforcing my understanding of personal boundaries and the importance of self-care. The growth wasn't confined to me alone. My family also learned from the experience. We all underwent a transformation, learning to communicate more openly about our desires, fears, and boundaries. The initial pain of the confrontation and my decision had been a catalyst for a deeper, more meaningful family relationship. Now, reaching out to you, my viewers. How have you dealt with the fallout from tough decisions within your own families? What helped you move forward and find healing? Please share your stories in the comment section below. Your experiences and insights can provide support and guidance to others facing similar challenges. Ending this section with an invitation for community support and shared healing. Let me know if this suits your needs or if there are any edits you'd like before we wrap up with a final topic. In the quiet aftermath of those tumultuous weeks, I found myself in a state of reflection. The decision not to become a surrogate for my brother was one of the hardest I had ever made, but it was also a defining moment that taught me a great deal about myself and the nature of family ties. As time passed, the initial sharpness of the conflict softened into something more reflective and introspective. I often found myself revisiting the park where I made my decision, using it as a place to think and meditate on the journey I had undergone. It became a sanctuary where I could see the growth that had sprouted from the hardship, like the new buds on the trees that arrived with a change of seasons, signifying new beginnings and opportunities. This period of reflection brought clarity and a stronger sense of self. I had stood by my principles and, in doing so, learned the importance of setting and respecting personal boundaries, not just for myself but for everyone involved. It reaffirmed my belief that while family is fundamental, respecting individual choices and paths is equally vital. Moving forward, I focused on fostering relationships within my family that were based on mutual respect and understanding. We worked together to rebuild the trust that had been strained, finding new ways to connect and support each other without overstepping personal boundaries. For my brother and his wife, their journey took them on a path of adoption, a decision that brought a new member into our family and joy that we all shared. This experience, too, was a learning process for all of us, as it came with its own set of challenges and rewards. In sharing this story, my hope is to inspire those of you watching to consider your own family dynamics. Reflect on the decisions you've made, the challenges you've faced, and how they've shaped who you are today. What have you learned from your experiences, and how have they influenced your approach to family and personal decisions? Ending with a reflective tone, inviting the audience to ponder their own experiences and growth. Please review this section and let me know if it's aligned with your vision, or if there are any adjustments you would like before we conclude with a call to action. As we close this chapter of our journey together, it's clear that family and personal choices can lead us down paths filled with complex emotions and tough decisions. Through my story, I've shared the depths of my struggles and the heights of our collective healing, hoping to connect with all of you facing similar dilemmas. Now it's your turn to engage. I encourage you to dive deep into your own stories. Reflect on the choices you've made, the outcomes they've led to, and the lessons you've learned along the way. How have your family dynamics shaped your decisions? What tough choices have you faced, and how have you navigated the challenges that followed? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Let's create a community where we can learn from each other's experiences and support one another in our ongoing journeys. If you found resonance in this video or if it helped you feel less alone in your struggles, Please like and share it with others who might also benefit. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on more videos like this, where we tackle real issues with honesty and courage. Your engagement and feedback are what keep these conversations going, and together we can continue to explore and grow. Thank you for being part of this community, for sharing your time and your stories with us. Together we're stronger, wiser, and more connected. This section ends with a strong call to action, encouraging interaction, subscription, and community building. Please let me know if this meets your requirements and captures the essence of your message, or if there are any final tweaks you'd like before we consider this script completed. As we come to the end of this deeply personal and complex journey, it's clear that the lines between right and wrong, duty and self-preservation are not always as clear-cut as we might hope. The decision to become a surrogate for a sibling is layered with emotional, ethical, and psychological complexities that challenge the very core of our values and beliefs. In grappling with this decision, we've uncovered hidden layers of family dynamics, personal boundaries, and the immense pressures that come with such profound requests. It's a reminder that sometimes, the hardest choices are about balancing the love we have for our family with the love we must hold for ourselves. I encourage you to reflect on this story and apply its lessons to your own life. What decisions have you faced that tested your limits? How did you navigate the challenges of balancing family loyalty with personal integrity? As we close this discussion, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Join our community if you're seeking more thought-provoking content that delves into the heart of what it means to love, sacrifice, and remain true to oneself. Thank you for watching, for sharing your thoughts, and for engaging with our content. Remember, the journey through life's toughest questions is not meant to be traveled alone. Together we can find strength and wisdom in our shared experiences. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Your interaction helps us to bring more meaningful content to you. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. I look forward to hearing your views.